Hello and welcome to the Phoenix 5-0 Info Show. I'm your host, Lieutenant Vince Lewis, coming to you once again from Phoenix Police Headquarters in beautiful downtown Phoenix. Joined once again, on orders, dressed and ready for work, PIO Sgt, co-host Rob Scherer. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, boss. Even though it's orders, I love being here.
Well, I appreciate you
Hanging out with you. It's always
doing right by us.
Yeah.
I want to welcome back to the show my father for Father's Day, retired Commander Bill Campbell. Welcome back to the show, Dad.
Wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Yes, you bet. So we had you on last year. We covered a myriad of topics and things like that. So we're going to do a little bit of review, but I'm going to play a game with you later on. But first, we're going to do is we're going to have you give us some commentary on a new segment that we're running. It's called the Briefing Book. Rob, what happened?
Yeah, so briefing book, basically we're going to go through a couple cases or a couple incidents that happened within the city of Phoenix recently. First one I got back at the end of May. It was actually a stabbing that led to a homicide. Officers in our central city precinct responded to a hotel in not downtown Phoenix, a little south of here. When they got to this hotel, they found an adult male, a man down inside one of the hotel rooms, obviously stabbed. Throughout this investigation, officers actually on scene were able to locate an individual that ultimately was found to be in a argument, fight, some sort with this individual that died. Homicide detectives responded, did what they do, combed everything, and went through the whole scene. At this point, no arrests have been made. Obviously, they talked to an individual that was in a fight with this man. No arrests have been made, but that investigation is not done. And a lot of times in these cases, we work with our partners with the Maricopa County Attorney's Office and really try to get down to, where's that? We're not looking for just probable cause. When we're out there investigating stuff, we want to really get the person that did this. And get an ultimate conviction if we get to that point. So that's kind of where they're at with this. It's still ongoing. But yeah, that was one downtown incident that happened at the end of May.
Dad, you've been on your fair share of homicides, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Familiar with the downtown central South Mountain area?
I am.
So this would be familiar, right?
Very much so.
Okay. So how long do you think we would take on a case like this, on a call like this, just at the scene, before we could pack it up and say we're done?
My goodness, you're talking about all kinds of. Depends on the number of witnesses you have there. It depends how strung out the scene is. Did he crawl? Where the blood spatter is, and so forth. It's going to take hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, which this one did. There were multiple witnesses. Everybody here, we won't name the hotel. We all kind of know the hotel a little bit south of here, if you will. It was probably still.
I'm sure it was.
Roaring back in your day, but yeah, plenty of witnesses. This one took several hours.
All right, real quick, what else?
Yeah, next case, June 1st, we found a woman dead in the alley near about 30th Avenue in Palmyra. Again, kind of some possible injuries. At this point, we're going to rely on a medical examiner autopsy to kind of determine what those injuries are, and then homicide investigators will go from there.
All right, yeah, kind of a whodunit, really.
And those sometimes take the most. Because it takes the old gumshoe detective. You can be the greatest detective in the world, but it's going to take you time.
Yeah.
And to your point about the county attorney, he isn't going to just say, okay, you got your probable cause, we'll go from here. They send them back numerous times saying, I need more of this, more of that, or more of the other.
Right.
Very understandable.
Yeah, in a case like this where you're starting out not knowing severity or what injuries really led to that death, it's really going to take some time with those investigators and working with those partners we have to get down to what not only what happened to this victim, and then put the pieces together of how that happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so we're going to find some more cases for the next show, and we'll call it a briefing book. We'll discuss those things. We'll probably add some safety tips and things like that. So, Dad, thank you for coming on. Why don't you stick around, and we're going to play a little then and now little guessing.
Looking forward to it.
So, all right, so stick around. We'll be right back.
I'm a busy mom. I'm also a Phoenix police officer devoted to keeping our community safe.
I'm a Little League coach. And I'm a Phoenix police detective and a part of the team here too.
Find endless career options with one of America's best large employers.
Welcome back to the 5-0 Info Show. We're here with retired Commander Bill Campbell, my father, for our Father's Day episode. Welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right. Hey, real quick, you have you've got family.
Yeah. My stepfather, T.J. Martin, spent 37, retired an assistant chief, and then obviously my Uncle Jim Jim Burgett, retired an assistant chief, and he did 30 here.
You remember those guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you did 37 total, right?
I did
32 involved?
37 active and 1 reserve.
Okay, so total of
38.
38. Wow, that's incredible. All right, well, hey, Dad, I figured we could try a little something different for this show. Father's Day, we had you on last year. Check those episodes out on YouTube. Go back and find out the original interview. But Dad, we're going to play a little game, the three of us. We're all going to have a shot at answering each of these questions to the best of our abilities. You've got the least amount of time on, but among the three, it's nothing to sneeze at. You've got over 20 years on.
Yes. Yeah.
But so we're going to ask the first question. The first question is, give us the year you came on the department.
So I get to claim 2002, but let's be real. It was the last 2 weeks of 2002. But I get to claim 2002 to be better than those that got on 3 weeks later in 2003. So December of 2002 was the end of my academy date.
What was your class number?
371.
Okay. So I came on in 1998. December 98 is when we graduated. And I started the first week of you remember my 21st birthday was my first week of the academy. And you wanted to take me out for a little nightcap, and I wouldn't have it. I'd stay home with polished shoes. Thank you, though, for the offer. Appreciate it. I came on, like I said, in 98. And the temperature at the time was Y2K is coming. What's it going to do? How are we going to handle this? And then what's on the horizon for policing and things like that. So, Dad, when did you come on?
Came on in 1972.
Okay. I wasn't a glimmer in my mom's eye at the time.
No, you weren't.
What do you remember?
Oh, my goodness. The academy used to be the old, they used it as a dog place to hold them, and they also used it as one of the internment camps for the Japanese individuals. There were Quonset huts. It was hot.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I came on in May, and at that time, 2 days after you came on, they swore you in as a full officer.
Oh, wow. Yeah, hit the ground running.
2 days in, that worked
Yeah,
out.
I knew it all.
Yeah, here's a fun one. Do you remember your first patrol car?
So when I got on, they first started the awesome CNG car, that fun experience.
That natural gas?
Yes, so where you press the gas pedal and it would, then it would start going. Literally like that. So as the rookie at that time, I got to pick which CNG car I had. So just the standard patrol cars we had then. I didn't get any of the cool ones that you had even just a few years earlier. But yeah, we had the awesome CNGs that you had to like almost push start to get them.
Yeah. I remember being the rookie. I had an 88 Crown Vic, the boxy ones, because nobody wanted it. It's me being the newest one. I had to take that thing out with the gumball lights and, the chewed up steering wheel handle, and was lucky if it had AC, no radio, no FM radio in there. But it was quite the piece of machinery. Dad, what's your first car?
Tell you what, you guys did just fine. It was a 1967 Ford with no power steering.
Ooh.
And when you were working the Center City at trying to parallel park that puppy, oh my goodness.
Oh, dear. No
was
power
it Ford
steering.
LTD or which?
Oh my goodness. You're talking
Was it a
50.
boat
You're talking
or?
53 years ago. So we didn't have to crank it up at the front of the engine.
Yeah. Wow. You tell the kids roll the window down. They don't know that you meant like roll it down.
That's right.
That's hilarious. All right. What would you consider to be the first big technical advancement that you remember being a police officer? What blew your mind?
What was the biggest change was probably the MDCs. Like I got on and we had the cool ones that were like the orange, little cool orange screen. I'm not saying you had to violently smash it to get it to work, but that rumor has it that's, if it didn't work, you lifted it and brought it down with some force and it would start dinging and work. But, and then you went to this touch screen, computer screen, and that was where you didn't want to touch it because you thought you were going to break it. So that was, and there was a lot of advancements through that, that we were able to do a lot more checks, a lot more, like opened up so much to that patrol officer that they were able to do on a call that you would need to go back and hit a computer and get on our PACE system at that point to be able to get into some of that stuff. So that was one of the bigger advancements when we went in. We got a little frustrated because they were like, hey, don't break these, okay? And then some of them broke early on. But yeah, that was one of the bigger advancements that we had.
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, I could say the taser, I could say a bunch of other things like that, but I think what really rocked my world was moving from pagers to cell phones. That I remember because it really opened the door, and we didn't have it as officers. And only now are we now really going department-wide with patrol phones. But supervisors had cell phones, old flip phones and things like that. So being able to reach out and touch anybody from anywhere was quite a cool advancement. You didn't have to drive to a Circle K to call in your warrants or find a call box or anything. So, Dad, what would you say was the biggest tech advancement that you remember in your career?
Well, let me just give you an idea of where we were, and that is that if you were on a call, you didn't have a radio, and so what you would do is you'd roll your window up far enough that you could leave the the mic outside the window. So if you got into a problem, either you or your partner would run out there, and we got some really interesting commentaries from some of the people that came up there and were, 1 Adam 12, 1 Adam 12, where are you? And so that lasted years and years.
You were doing traffic stops with no radio? You'd have to come back to the car to radio through?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So if you were inside and you had a family fight and you needed more units, one of them, the big guy stayed and the other guy ran to the car.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, I can't even fathom safety-wise how to even approach that without, radio is your lifeline to everything. And I can't even fathom some of that. Trying to go in and you're going to fight, you're like, hey, I need to let some people know that they need to come help. Which one of us is going? Wild.
Wow. All right, last one. Which gun were you issued first?
I had a Glock 21 40 cal, which we have now moved away from. We go to the 9s, but we had some 45s, but you had to buy them yourself. But we had a Glock 21 40.
Yeah, I got the 40 as well. I now have the 45 because we came out right about the same time, and they had switched us, I think, from the 40, and then they said it wasn't the desired round, so they went to the 45.
Yep, went to the 45
which did you
and
get?
went to the 9.
I got a 6-shot 38 blue steel, and try cleaning that thing every night.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Did you have the speed loaders?
No, we had the dump pouches at first, and then those of us that were progressive, we wound up getting those. But then you had a partner that didn't want the dump until it was time for him to qualify. And then he'd say, okay, you can shoot first and then let me have your speed loaders. And that's how he could qualify, because if not, they'd be all over the...
Well, Dad, I want to thank you for coming on. It's been fun. If you want to find out what my dad was talking about, visit the Phoenix Police Museum, and you might see. That's not a shot at you, Dad, by all means. But I want to thank the crew for producing. Thank Rob for coming on the show. Thank you, the viewer, for watching. Catch the video versions of these shows on our YouTube channel. I'd like to remind everybody that you too can help solve crime in your community by sending tips to Silent Witness. Visit silentwitness.org or call 480-WITNESS. We're hiring. Go to joinphxpd.com. And until next time, be safe out there.